My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Oculus. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But when people talk about the best of Mike Flanagan, they usually talk about Midnight Mass, The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, and Doctor Sleep. And don't get me wrong, I like all of those things, but Oculus has always been my favorite of his. It just does everything that he's known for in a very effective and efficient way. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Karen Gillian is a very underrated actress. I thought she carried this movie incredibly well, and she sells you on everything that she needed to. Brenton Thratz is an actor I'm very hit or miss on, but this is one of his better performances. I thought he brought lots of dramatic weight, and he really stood out here. Annalise Basil, I thought did a really good job. Garrett Wine Eward does a really good job as well. Katie Sackhoff definitely stands out, and Warwick Cochran does a great job. So the entire cast did everything that they needed to perfectly, but I really like the script to this movie. Like, the characters have depth to them, and the first half of this movie is just this brother and sister who have opposing viewpoints of their childhood and them just talking about it. And I was just captivated during all this conversation. And then in the second half of this movie is when we get the more supernatural elements, and you get a little bit of the, is it real? Is it fake? What's going on? And if you know me, you know I do not like this type of storytelling, but this movie and Smile 2 does it so incredibly well, and it just had me on edge the entire time. There is a scene where, oh shoot, what's her name? Hold on, Kaylee is changing a light and she's eating an apple, and she places the apple next to the light bulb, and she picks up the apple, takes a bite, and it's the light bulb. And this is such a disturbing scene, and she's just picking out glass from the inside of her mouth. But then it turns out that's not real. And you're like, wait, what? There's a scene where she goes down the stairs and sees a bunch of broken glass. But she takes out the camera on her phone and she sees no glass. So she's walking around and she sees a ghost, and she then stabs that ghost in the neck with some of that broken glass. But then it turns out it's her boyfriend. But she's like, wait, what? And then she gets a call from her boyfriend. So you're like, wait, is that her boyfriend or is it not? And is it glass real or is it not? And it just fucks around with your mind in such an effective way that I really dug. I also like how this movie constantly jumps back and forth between the story of the brother and sister as adults and the story of them as kids. And the these two stories interconnect so well, and I thought this was a very well edited movie. I do think this movie has a very nice, creepy atmosphere. The movie can be quite tense at times. So, Mike Flanagan does a really good job at directing this movie. He does. But it's the end that just kicks it to a whole other level. That scene where we see, shoot, what's his name? Tim. Where we see Tim as a kid being arrested and then it cuts to Tim as an adult being arrested for killing his sister, and the Kaylee is just like, you have to promise me you won't forget. And this time he has no. It's actually, it's getting me emotional just thinking about it. It is such a heavy, bleak, effective ending that just allows this movie to sit with you, and you just can't shake it off. Some really great stuff there, but I do got a couple issues. I do think the ending of this movie relies a bit too heavily on the kids' storyline than the adults than I would have liked personally. And the movie can drag at times. I do feel like you could have tightened it up by maybe 5-10 minutes and it would have been all the better for it. But that said, I still love this movie. It's well directed, it's well acted, it's well written. The characters have a level of depth to them. The way the story escalates is just so well handled, and it just leaves you on a real gut punch. So I'm giving Oculus an 8 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Oculus? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.